Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Manga Realization Deadpool figure, which is one that I'm guessing a lot of people are excited for. It's Deadpool, and that means there's going to be lots of people excited for it, no matter what. And much like Captain America, I didn't think I was going to like this one very much based on the earlier photos. It didn't seem like a very cohesive design. However, having it in hand, I think it's pretty solid. It looks pretty good, and I kind of like it. So there's a little bit to talk about. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 7¼ inches, which makes him just about, let's call it, I don't know, a little over 18 centimeters, about 18.25 centimeters, right around there. It's a pretty good design. I like it. There's a couple things that bug me a little bit about it subjectively, but overall it's really solid. The thing I think that stands out the most on this guy, aside from just a really clean paint job, is the fact that he is almost completely matte, which means there's no shine to him, which is really good. There are a couple places, like the shoulder pads or some of the chest area, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, the face a little bit. The places that look like hard metal surfaces kind of have a harder look to them, which is good. They have a smoother, shinier look. The rest is a nice matte finish, and it just really makes the figure stand out. And then, like I mentioned, it does have a really clean paint job. I don't see really too many areas that have anything that's kind of muddy or blurry or anything like that. I'm very pleased with it overall. The two subjective things I can think of are only that, okay, I guess there's one overall subjective thing is the color selection. I'm not sure the purple is the best choice. It's not a bad choice. It's not like the green that was on Spider-Man. I think it was green. Maybe he was purple too. I don't remember. It's not a bad choice. It's still okay. Purple, red, and black goes well enough together, so that's fine. There's a little bit of green in here, which I actually don't hate. I kind of like it. I kind of wish I saw that a little bit more throughout. We only really have those two little ties on the front and back. I think it would have been kind of nice to see just a little pop of that somewhere else. If they're going to add the non-traditional colors, I think it would be nice to kind of see it throughout rather than just two little spots, because we have other places where there's like little ties and things that they could have been green, and it would have kind of been nice. But that's obviously just a subjective minor thing. Then the other subjective minor thing is that we do have some silver on the feet up here, which looks nice. And then the only other place we have it is back here. Much like the green, I think it would have been nice to see some silver throughout. Like maybe if this was lined in silver, or maybe the insets right there were silver. Something like that. I think it would have been nice to just kind of have that more consistently throughout. And then I guess I just really noticed this one. The brown, which is kind of going back to the traditional Deadpool look with the brown straps. We really don't see much of that. It's only right there. The belt is kind of a tan color. And then we have a little bit of tan down here. So it's just... obviously, it's just very subjective, but I don't think it would have hurt to have a little bit more consistency in the coloring, but that's just to make it look even better. It does look really good as it is. And so let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. We kind of have a lot. We have 8 different eye plates, so 4 different sets. We have the neutral set, we have the squinting set, the heart-shaped set, and then the one that looks like smoke's coming out of it, kind of, or steam or whatever. So that's kind of nice. They're a little tricky to swap out, but not too bad. For the hands, we have 2 fist hands and then 2 different sets of gripping hands. For the swords, we do have the 2 katana. We have 2 scabbards, and then we have 2 little grippy thingies that peg onto his back to hold the scabbards. They have ball pegs, so you can kind of move them around. It works well enough. And then lastly, we have 2 pistols, which can fit into the little grippy thingies that go on the back of his skirt. Those ones come on him in the package, and while they do rotate, I'm scared to try to pull on them since I don't own this figure. I'm borrowing it from a friend. I guess maybe they might come off, but as far as I can tell, they're permanently connected. So not a bad spread of accessories, not the most we've ever seen, but probably good enough. As far as articulation goes, we have a ball peg for the head and one for the neck. Of course, due to the armored design, it's relatively limited, but you do get full rotation, of course. Forward and back works really nicely, especially when you pop it off. I've had that happen a few times on these Manga Realization figures. It's not a particularly loose ball joint. It's just something about the way they do it where it's very easy to pop that off. But it's not like a floppy joint in the first place, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. You get good enough range out of that. For the arm, you have one big ball peg, which the arm connects to the body with. And then you have this shoulder ball hinge, which lets the arm raise up. It's not the best range in the world, but at least the shoulder pad is on its own separate disc inside that hinge, and then it's on a ball peg, so it can move around a little bit independently. So that's kind of nice. You are going to be, of course, limited the more bulky and armory the figures get, so that's to be expected, but you do get full rotation, and it's probably good enough range. Bicep swivel is there. Single jointed elbow, which is actually a ball hinge, only 90 degrees, not the best range. You can, of course, rotate there in addition to the bicep swivel, but you don't really need to, and then, of course, you can rotate at the forearm as well. Ball hinge for the wrist, which works okay. Again, armor, so limitations, but it works well enough, so that's fine. I believe it's just a single ball peg in here for the upper torso. That's what it feels like, and this is just a floating piece underneath to kind of hide that. You do get rotation out of it. It's kind of tight and squeaky, but you do get decent enough range forward and back. Side to side works too, very squeaky. So I don't know, it seems okay. Definitely feels like a single ball peg. The whole belt thing is floating, though it is fairly rigid plastic, and it is very tight to the figure, so you're not going to be able to like squish that out of the way too much. These guys are on little ball pegs, and they'll just pop off probably too easily, but I guess it's better than breaking, so I guess that's alright. In fact, we'll leave them off for the sake of the hips. For the hips, pretty much like we've seen before, big ball pegs, though less range than I was hoping. I mean, it's still really good, but it looked like I was going to get a whole lot more out of it based on the design, but it's not there. But it's still fine. It's plenty. Then you can bring the legs forward, but like I said, the crotch piece is fairly rigid, so it's going to take a little tinkering, a little maneuvering to get the pieces where you want them to go, but you can probably get the posing you want out of the hips. It's not terrible. You do have a thigh swivel in there, although it looks like most of that is just working on the ball peg rather than actually rotating the thigh swivel, so that's a little curious. For the knee, it's a double jointed knee, which looks pretty good. They did a good job with the bagginess up here. I like that. I wish they would do that kind of thing more often. Down here it's kind of ugly, but it is functional, so that's pretty good. Really good range there. And then for the ankle, we have a ball hinge. So you have forward and back, which works well enough. Really good going back. Not so great going forward, but it's there. And then, of course, you can rotate for a really, really nice ankle rocker, so that's awesome. And then we have our little toe joint, which is pretty useless, but at least it's in the right location on the foot. So is it a perfect figure? No, but it's pretty good. I think if you're into this line, then you're definitely going to like this one. And if you're not into this line, but maybe like Deadpool, this might be one to check out. It's not like the best figure ever. You're not going to be incredibly impressed, but they do look really nice. They pose well enough, and they're unique takes on things. So I could definitely see why people would like them. And this is a good representation of the line. Not too many issues and mostly really good stuff. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to do it because I do have new videos up just about every single day. Usually every day, but I can't say every day because sometimes it doesn't happen. But almost every day, where we talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games. We do live streams for video games and sculpting and just lots of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.